He's here. Oh, that's very good. Okay, I don't know if you knew who was coming in tonight, but you're in for a real treat. In all professions, there's always one that sticks out, no matter what you are. If you're a CPA or if you're a dockhand, there's always one that's probably considered the best or most different than anybody else. And I'm really happy to introduce him to you. A nice round of applause, please, for
BamaLoveSoul.com.
WABL. New rules, new music. Download the app and stream on ablradio.com.
TheSoulician.com.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Creole, and this is Untwisting the Game Crypto. May the 4th be with you. You know, it's funny, when I first met my wife, I thought I wasn't going to get a second date because I never watched any of the Star Wars videos and movies. But our second date, we watched the entire Star Wars series. Okay. And tonight, we are going to go over some tokenomics of Polkadex. Michelle and I are very excited about this project. It's got the full package. Now, before I jump into the details of the tokenomics here, I do want to give a shout out to the new subscribers. Thank you for hitting that like and subscribe button and rocking with us throughout the past couple of months as we continue to bring resources and references on multiple blockchains. And I also want to thank all of the new members to our Discord, trickling in day by day. It's live in the chat. We don't hold back. We say what's on our mind. We have trading indicators. Shout out Crypto Joe. And daily, hourly news we post in the Discord. Next, I want to give a shout out to the Rob Ram. He had a couple comments on our last video that Michelle posted on Cardano and the Africa news. One comment, he says, 3 days ago, another thing, the moment ADA releases smart contracts, they will capture a majority of ETH, BNB, and BTC market cap. That's why they're scared of this development. I will have to agree with some of that, Rob. Once these smart contracts are released on Cardano, it's definitely going to be a game changer. And a lot of my Ethereum head friends, they think Ethereum is going to flip Bitcoin. That's I highly doubt that. But what we will see as projects like Polkadot and Cardano and BNB, Binance Sidechain, as they continue to release smart contracts, they're going to siphon off a lot of liquidity from Ethereum. It's going to happen, you know? If I'm not saying any of these projects will be an Ethereum killer, but we will, over the next couple of years, see Ethereum slowly dwindle by 1,000 cuts. He goes on to say, it's going to enable all humans the ability to have systems to record identity, records, DeFi, payment systems, etc., etc. Charles and his team, working with various countries in Africa, will create a level playing field for all. F the haters. He's doing the right thing by starting from the bottom up. Let's go. I will have to agree with that, Rob. Charles is playing three-dimensional chess, and time will tell which roadmap is going to be the strongest. Especially in the blockchain industry, it's best to take your time, work out the kinks before you release updates and projects. Something Ethereum could learn from. And I'm not bashing Ethereum. We have bags of Ethereum, we have bags of Polkadot, we have bags of Cardano, we have bags of Binance. We share the love, but there isn't going to be one winner in this race. And this is why Michelle and I are so bullish on the Polkadot ecosystem. We spend countless hours a day just combing through all the projects that are being released on Substrate. In Polkadot, it's just going to bring all these blockchains together. It's going to be a beautiful future. So let's kind of jump into Tokenomics of Polkadex in details here. This article was released by Polkadex on April 23rd. Now, if you do want to take a deeper dive into the project itself, I recommend going to KryptosChain. It's a YouTube channel, Kryptos with a K. Type in Polkadex Explained, and he has about an 8 to 9 minute video that really hits all the high points of the Polkadex project. But for this video in particular, we're just going to be talking about the tokenomics, okay? Tokenomics is very important when you are looking for projects to invest in. Again, this is not financial advice, but you should listen to a little bit of what we say. And always, if you're a beginner, don't invest based on what one YouTuber says or thinks. Do your own research, listen to multiple outlets and multiple platforms to gain additional knowledge before you invest in any project. But tokenomics is so important to any project because it includes the information on how these tokens are distributed and created and how they will be used to incentivize positive behavior in the community. So let's jump into the article here. It's going to be short and sweet, but jam-packed with a lot of information. It reads, following our market launch, we received a lot of interest and great questions from our community about different aspects of Polkadex. The tokenomics was one of our top questions, so we decided that this topic deserves a more detailed explanation. They continue. Tokenomics is a very important topic for any blockchain project. Polkadex tokens economics was built with the help of our crypto economic advisors. The system that we created takes into account the purpose, functionality, and utility of tokens and is distributed in a way that is beneficial for early investors, the community, and the development of the Polkadex exchange. Moving on. So what does this native token do? What will it be used for? They list reasons here. Polkadex native token will be used to 1. Pay transaction and trading fees to get discounts on them. That's huge. Participate in Polkadex IDOs. Participate in on-chain governance of the network, become a validator of the network by staking, and finally nominate validators and collators of the network. So this token does have utility. Anytime you want to invest in a coin or a token, you want to see what it actually does. So now let's take a deep dive into the core elements of the Polkadex Tokenomics. They have an infographic here. I'll kind of briefly go over it in case you are not seeing the screen. 9% of the tokens are going to go to the founders and the team. 7% is saved for the seed round. Now, the seed round, for those who are new to investing, there's multiple rounds in gaining finances and funding for your project. The seed round is the first round. It's the first official equity funding stage. So this may include some of the founders' personal friends or family members. Sometimes it includes VCs or angel investors. Moving on, the next round is the strategic round. 8% will be saved for this round. The strategic round is the second or next round of financing, and it's strategic because it usually comes from other projects or even other companies that would benefit from the success of this project. Okay, moving on to the third round of financing here is the private round. Okay, the private round is more of, you have to think of it as the equity or venture capital funding. This round is going to provide access for funding from outsiders or people who aren't directly involved in the project. So another good round here, and that's going to be 10.193%. I wonder where they got that percentage from. I actually emailed the team, and I'm kind of anxious to figure out. That's an odd percentage there. 41% is going to go to the Treasury. The Treasury is so important to every project here because a well-run Treasury and a not just well-ran, but also a transparent Treasury is going to add value to the project, because this Treasury is going to ensure that the funding will be available to deliver on the project's promises. So having 41% of the tokens go to the Treasury, that's a good amount. That's the highest amount in all of the categories here. So again, this is another green flag, another incentive in why I invested in this project. Moving on here, the next category is liquidity mining. 10% of the tokens are going to go to the liquidity mining. What is liquidity mining? If you don't know, I suggest you do additional research on this, but this is pretty much yield farming. So if I have a token, if I have the Polkadex token, I can provide my capital as liquidity, and I can send it to a smart contract address, and it's being used, and I am rewarded in extra Polkadex coins because I provide my capital as liquidity to the project. So this is really interesting because 10% for the first year is going to go to liquidity mining. So if you are sitting on a bag of Polkadex tokens, this may be something to look into to gain more tokens. The next category here, 6% will be going to advisors. 6.807% is going to go to the marketing ecosystem and partnerships. That's huge. You always want to save money from your treasury or save tokens from your funding to fund the marketing. And Polkadex, they are A1 when it comes to marketing. Their Twitter feed is live and lit, and they're very active and responsive to tweets. Finally, is the community round. The 2% is going to the community round. So let's jump into the article here. It's going to go into a little bit more detail about the different categories. Again, the total supply of Polkadex native token, which is PDEX, is capped at 20 million. However, PDEX supply can fluctuate at times. So this is really important. especially when you're researching coins and you see a total supply, keep in mind the total supply is not the max supply. So Polkadex is different from coins like Bitcoin because Bitcoin has a max supply. But with Polkadex total supply, that supply can fluctuate depending on market dynamics. And we'll kind of jump into that a little bit later down the article. Continuing on, PDEX token is inflationary, but Polkadex uses a system of burning tokens. The supply can move between 18 million to 22 million tokens at certain periods, but it will also always come back to a fixed 20 million tokens in total in the long run. So again, it's going to fluctuate from 18 million to 22 million. Polkadex mechanism will burn the transaction fees if the current total supply goes over 20 million tokens. So if that supply goes over 20 million, they're going to start burning tokens. We are also working on other mechanics of burning tokens from the Polkadex IDO palette and order book that will be introduced later. Burning mechanisms regulate supply via the network without the need for users to intervene. Crucial. Moving on, let's discuss the initial circulating supply. So there are 1.963860 million PDEX tokens currently released on the market, and this is less than 10% of the total supply. So I have people in the Discord asking me, should I buy PDEX now? That's just a personal decision. You do have to keep in mind that they're going to continue to release these tokens over the long run, and they kind of point this out below. But moving on, Polkadex is in the testnet version at the moment. With PDEX being an ERC20 token now, it makes sense to release a limited supply of tokens. The remaining tokens will be minted in the mainnet and distributed in tranches at later stages of the product launch. So this is their reasoning behind just releasing 10% right now. Most of these Polkadot tokens and coins are being released as ERC20 tokens. That means they're on the Ethereum platform. Why? Because right now that's where all the liquidity is. If you're wanting funding for your project, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to release your initial token as an ERC20 token. Moving on, founders and team. Our core team building the product received 9% of the total supply of tokens, so that's 1.8 million PDEX. They are released according to the following schedule, okay? 20% of tokens are unlocked 12 months after the mainnet launch, and the remaining amount is vested quarterly over the next 12 months. For the investors, Polkadex was raising money through several investment rounds. Our early backers who joined at seed, strategic, and private stages received 7%, which is 1.4 million tokens, 8%, which is 1.6 million tokens, and 10.193%, slightly over 2 million tokens of the total supply, respectively. All the unlocks happen according to the vesting schedules. Okay, it looks like we have a question in the chat. Let me see if I can pull this question up here. I don't even know how to get to that. Michelle, can you text me the question if you are listening? I'm going to continue, but I will get to your question. Again, I'm very new to this YouTube streaming thing. I'm just glad it's working for me tonight. Honestly. Okay, moving on to the investors category. Polkadex was raising money through several investment rounds, as we discussed earlier. Our early backers who joined at seed, strategic, and private stages received... actually, I just read that. Let's move on to the different categories of investors here. Okay, the seed round investors are allocated 20% of tokens, unlocked after the token generation event earlier this month, so it happened in April, and remaining vested quarterly over the next 12 months. So this, I love this part where it says remaining vested quarterly over the next 12 months. This is because it will not allow investors to dump on the market. Okay, this was an issue with XRP, and why they're in court right now. So, having these coins locked up over the next 12 months and being released quarterly is going to have a positive effect on the price here. Okay, so Michelle texted me. The question is, when's the Mainnet launch? The most recent information I received, it should be Q3 or Q4 of this year, and I think they may say it in this article, but we will get to it. Yes, Mainnet launches in August 2021, so that is Q3 of this year. It is very close upon us. Okay, moving to the strategic round of investors here. Again, they were allocated 25% of tokens. Their 25% was unlocked after the token generation event, and the remaining vested quarterly over the next 12 months. Finally, the private round investors are allocated their 30% of tokens unlocked after the token generation event, and the remaining 70% will be vested quarterly over the next 12 months. Moving on down the article, and we're about halfway done here. I'll make the rest of this article quick, but it's jam-packed with a lot of good information that you need to know. Choosing the right investors was very important for us because it is not just a one-time funding thing. Our early investors, these people who share their knowledge, expertise, and industry connections, help Polkadex become better, faster, and stronger every day throughout the lifetime of our product. And again, if you do a deep dive into Polkadex and the team, this is more good news for the project. Too often we see angel investors and VCs fund a project, make their money, dump on the market, and leave. Obviously, with this group, this team, they are very close with their early investors, and these investors are going to be here for the long run of the project. Great news. Okay, moving to the next category here, Treasury. Treasury. This is so important. You don't want, and I hate talking trash about other coins, but when you're in the space for a while, you have been scarred and you have witnessed things that you don't want others to repeat. And one of those things is, I think back of the EOS project with Dan Larimore. They were able to acquire funding that was north of $4 billion in their ICO stage from investors and people investing in the coin early. And that was wasted. As we see now, Dan has left the project, and we still wonder to this day, what did they do with $4 billion in their treasury to not become a more successful project? So having transparency behind your treasury and having a plan and a roadmap for your treasury is huge for the project's success. So the biggest chunk of tokens, which is the 41%, which is 8.2 million, is locked up in the treasury. These tokens are reserved for giving grants to extend the Polkadex ecosystem, building bridges, great, to other blockchains, and governance of the Polkadex network. And again, we see this a lot in the Polkadot ecosystem, how important these bridges are going to be for developing projects. Because again, these bridges, they're gonna suck liquidity from Ethereum. They're gonna suck liquidity from EOS. They're gonna suck liquidity from other blockchains. So this is great that they're building their own bridges. The treasury is locked by on-chain governance and can be released only by votes of users. Awesome. Again, You want your treasury to be transparent, and you want your treasury to have on-chain governance by the people who hold the tokens. Further details of the unlock process and voting system will be in the on-chain proposal to come. So next part of the article here, they discuss liquidity mining. 10% of the tokens, which is about 2 million, are reserved to incentivize users to participate in liquidity mining program for the first year since the mainnet launch. So after the mainnet launch, for the first year, they are going to incentivize people who hold the tokens to provide liquidity in smart contracts. Later, the program will be funded by on-chain governance. So again, they're going to let the community decide what to do with this program after the first year with on-chain governance and voting. Advisors. As Polkadex aims very high at solving issues of the current DeFi system and attracting mass users to the industry, we invited the best experts from blockchain, finance, legal, and other industries to help us create the most efficient product and ecosystem. This is music to my ears. This is so beautiful that they're so forward-thinking and bringing in experts, not just on blockchain or developing smart contracts, but they're bringing in experts from finance and legal. And we can look at Ripple and XRP and see how important your legal team will be moving into the future, so you can kind of sidestep some of these landmines that a lot of blockchains are going to be moving towards here fairly shortly. Our advisors receive 6% of the total token supply, that's 1.2 million, distributed according to the following schedule. 10% of tokens is released 6 months after main launch, and the remaining is vested quarterly over the next 12 months. Again, this is good that they're paying their advisors not in fiat, but in the actual token, because now these advisors, they have a vested interest in seeing the project succeed. Marketing, ecosystem, and partnerships. No efficient exchange can function with low liquidity. This is obvious. Hence, our users are the heart of our product. We intend to use 6.807% of the total supply, which is slightly over 1.36 million tokens, to spread the word, educate the public, and build a supportive community around Polkadex through marketing, as well as strengthen and expand our platform functionality through partnerships. Our marketing budget is relatively modest. 1.3 million for marketing in the blockchain industry, that is relatively modest. I do agree with that. But again, this is a good sign that they're thinking about all aspects of a successful blockchain project. And I see this throughout the entire Polkadot ecosystem as far as their marketing and their partnerships. I've never seen so many blockchains work together and cooperate in the success of other blockchains within the ecosystem. And you can see that in Twitter, you can see that in GitHub, and you can see it on Reddit and also Telegram. It's beautiful to see. And this is why Michelle and I are so bullish on Polkadot ecosystem, is because they're working together. It's not a lot of mudslinging or fighting between project to project. So that's definitely beautiful to see. Moving on, our partners receive tokens according to the following schedule. 20% of tokens are unlocked after the token generation event, again, that happened at the beginning of April, and the rest is vested quarterly over the next 12 months. The next round here is the community round. The 2%, 400,000 tokens were released for a community round as a part of the token generation event through IDO and IEO earlier this month. There is no vesting for these tokens, and they were unlocked straight away. So if you had the privilege to participate in the IDO or IEO earlier this month, I believe you got your tokens, I think it was around $2. And so congratulations for you, because last time I checked it, I think the PDEX token was priced at around $20 to $19. So as we look at the market right now, most of the tokens that are available on Uniswap, I believe there's a couple other exchanges, KuCoin, you can get this token from. Those tokens were most likely came from the tokens that were released from early investors and tokens that were gained from the community round. Now, this number might seem small at first, but it makes perfect sense because we have to be precautious. Community is our key focus, and we try to provide more opportunities for Polkadex supporters. That is why we are planning to release more tokens for the community when Polkadex Mainnet launches in August 2021. So again, I will link this article and some more resources and references in the description of this video. Thank you for joining this live. Again, I'm very bullish on this project. They're making all the right moves. They're saying all the right things. And I'm anxious to see if they are able to keep their roadmap and actually release the mainnet in August 2021. Wow, this bull market is going to be spectacular. There's so many amazing projects being released. Seems like almost on a daily basis. It's hard to keep up with everything, but we're gonna do our best here at Untwisting the Game Crypto to keep you updated and up to date on what we see as gems in not only the Polkadot ecosystem, but also Cardano. And we are very bullish on a couple of other blockchains that we will bring you additional information to. Again, what we discuss here is tokenomics, and what we are going to continue to discuss with you is not price predictions, but real information to help you decide where to put your money. This is not financial advice. With that, I will give you your evening back. Enjoy the music, and please like, subscribe. Let me know how you feel in the comments. Join the Discord. You'll get a lot more information on what we are finding and uncovering in the space in the Discord. And we have very basic, medium, and high level conversations in that Discord. So it's not just for advanced learners, but it's also for beginners. A great space, a safe space to ask any question that comes to mind as you explore this beautiful industry that's going to make us all a lot of money and very wealthy. Generational wealth. That is what we're looking at here. With that, what happens next is up to you. Have a good evening. And I believe Michelle will be back either tomorrow or Thursday or Friday with more live feeds.